What's going on to you, Cancer Crabs? So please smash the like button. There's a link in the comment section below called a Linktree link. Click on it. All right. It will redirect you to a website which has all the ways to be able to financially support the channel. So I can most definitely keep the show going. So look, you have the Fool, the Queen of Wands, and you have the Justice. So these three cards right here for you, Cancer Crabs, is really about how it is that y'all are actually starting something new. You're on a brand new beginning. The Fool represents new beginnings. It represents wiping the slate clean. It represents starting over, starting fresh. So a lot of you Cancers are starting fresh. You're starting over. What are you, right? And then you have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands represents what you're starting over with. You're starting over with a lot of different things, you know, rediscovering yourselves, rediscovering old hobbies that you had, that you may have stopped doing because life got in the way. You became a different person, you know, spiritually. Or I should say non-physically. You became a different person. And because you became a different person, you just never got back to the hobbies that you used to once love. But now a lot of you Cancers are going back to the same hobbies, and reclaiming your childhood, you know. What I mean by that is going right back to the same hobbies and things that you used to love doing. And then now you're starting to do it all over again because you love it. You love what you love, you know. Like, we all have things about us about our childhood that we love, that we just can't give up on, you know. Beyblade, you know, some of mine is Pokemon, video games, you know, anime, stuff like this, that no matter how old we get, we just can't let it go no matter how old we are. And that's the same thing for you Cancer Crabs. Y'all are rediscovering yourselves, right? You're going back to, you've revolutionized yourself. You've kept certain things similar, but then you've actually changed a couple of things. But one of the things that you Cancer Crabs have kept the same, that you're going back to, is you Cancer Crabs are going back to your childhood, who you were at your purest, and you're bringing that into the future with you, right? So the Justice now represents, and you deserve it because it's something that you've been actually needing to do for the longest time. The Justice represents how, you know, you Cancer Crabs needed to really reconnect with your old selves anyway, because the Justice is really about how the situation for you is all of this type of difficulties and experiences that you Cancer Crabs have been having within the past year or so. It's been all of this to get you to this point, to start understanding who you are, to start getting back to yourself, right? Reclaiming your own self, you know, reclaiming your own self, looking at yourself from a new perspective because you've changed. Over the past couple of months, you know, you Cancer Crabs have just been going through, you know, emotional baggage and nonsense with partners and people getting on your nerves, and, you know, rediscovering why it is that you are so solitary. A lot of Cancer Crabs like hanging out by themselves, you know. You know, Cancer Crab would be very well off with this, with honestly just a few people or by themselves. You know, and what I mean when I say a few people, I mean really select. The core people, people that they trust, core couple of people. Not a whole bunch of people ripping and running around and stuff like this. Like a person, like a Cancer Crab, like an Elon Musk, even though he oversees this business, I guarantee you, Elon Musk has a couple of people that he calls his friends like that he would enjoy kicking back to. The group of people, because he's a Cancer Crab, but the group of people that you Cancer Crabs would say that you really want around you like that For real, few and far in between. And that's what the justice represents. You needed to go through all of this to get to this point. Because it's time you, Cancer Crabs, sit back, enjoy your life, and live how you want to. The Five of Cups now and the Seven of Swords is all about how you're reflecting on a couple of things that you should have did, but it's okay because you, Cancer Crabs, are learning from your lessons. One of the things that you're learning about is you're understanding love a lot better, right? A lot of times people will ask me, well, how is it that I gained so much insight, right? And honestly, I gained insight from learning from my mistakes. Well, one of the ways I gained insight, I should say. I have many ways, but one of the ways that I gained insight was learning from my mistakes. Like if I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm going through all kind of interactions and certain things are not winning, certain things are not getting me to the point of where it is that I want to go, I have to look at myself, right? This is why it is I be saying it is cap, because the stuff that people be complaining about, again, they don't even know me, because if they did, they would realize that I've already put those things in check. The same excuses that they come up with, it's already been checkmated because I already took care of those points. Same thing for you, Cancer Crabs. You're learning. The Five of Cups represents regret because you're learning from your mistakes. You're realizing what it is that you did wrong. The Seven of Swords represents one of the things that you realize that you did wrong is you didn't create a strong enough boundary. It wasn't strong enough. You know, you Cancer Crabs will tell somebody when enough is enough, right? A lot of the times. But you Cancer Crabs realize that when it comes to people that you can't really trust, that you just happen to be getting to know, you Cancer Crabs are starting to realize that when a person doesn't really understand you and learn you and learn themselves as they go along, one of the best ways to create said separation is by disappearing and getting right out of there. And separating yourself in such a way where you're separating your way out of a person's life. Yeah. So the Nine of Cups and the Ten of Wands represents, because there's other fishes in the sea. There's other people that you could get to know. You know, it's not that big of a deal. You know, I was just talking to somebody actually, and just talking to them, you know, not necessarily trying to holler at them, but I was like, this person fine. And this, like I said, this person, you know, this person started getting crazy or whatnot. The person was like, oh, I'm about to block you. I was like, don't even worry about it. I'm going to unfollow you. You have yourself a good one. And I could tell, like, the person felt so terrible, felt so small after that. It's like, yeah, because once again, like these S tests, the trying to posture and act like you gangster. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, like, you look crazy to somebody who's built like that. You know what I mean? You know, and then and then call it like S test. It's like, ooh, you know, that's a whole other rabbit hole I don't even want to go down. But it's just a crazy scenario. But that's what it is that I'm talking about, though. That's what it is that has to be talked about, because the Nine of Cups and the Ten of Wands represents those S tests, particularly in this reading. It represents those S tests. It represents those things where, people will think that it's cute to get on your nerves with, and they'll act like, all these mind games, and they act like these mind games are meant to test the value of a person. It's like, remember, again, ladies and gentlemen, remember how it is that I said over here. You remember what it is that I said over here, right? About how it is that a person who has to S-test the person that's talking to them, they're a weirdo. You don't have to S-test anybody, because at the end of the day, the truth is going to be revealed. If a person is soft, if a person is not built like that, eventually we're going to see it. What happened with Zerka, right? What happened with this big YouTuber? What happened with Zerka? Zerka was talking trash with HS Tiki Taki, right? And what happened? Zerka got his butt whipped. HS Tiki Taki pounded him out. Got in a couple of cuffs, handled his business. Why? Because in the big scheme of things, why does a person feel like they need to S-test you cancers? They need to S-test you, But, while being in a relationship with you, S-test you, but being in a relationship with you. It makes no sense. Or trying to be in one with you, right? Because people do S-tests regardless of whether they're in one or not, And I don't know which one is worse. Comment down below which one is worse. When people S-test you before anything can be established, or after. Me personally, if I had to pick, I would say probably after. Because a person looks like a whole weirdo if they're still like trying to act like they're the ops, and trying to act like they're the ops, act like they gangster, act like there's some sort of enemy, some sort of arch enemy to you that they have to sabotage, destroy, and get over, when it's like, yeah, but you taking my stuff though. So it's like, it looks stupid on one hand, where it's like, you taking my stuff, but at the same time, it's like we're enemies. I don't smash the enemies. I try to destroy my enemies in self-defense if they're coming at me. But other than that, for the most part, I go on about my business, and I'm a loner anyway, so I'm off doing what I'm doing. So it's like, it's like you pick a side, And the thing is that the Nine of Wands represents a lot of you Cancer crabs can see people who are trying to get on your nerves and S-test you. You can see them lurking now. The thing is that the Moon and the Eight of Swords now is about, the answer to that is you just need to leave them. And you Cancer crabs have come to that conclusion yourself. They're not right with their own divine. They're not right with themselves. That's why it is that they got to act like they tough or gangster or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, let's clarify the Eight of Swords. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I really don't like the S-tests, because the S-tests are sabotaging. Person's gonna want to be with you, and I promise you, and then act like they hard, act like they're the gangsters person. And like I said before, and it looks crazy, especially if you built like that, especially when somebody is pressing you in that type of fashion, and you're like, I'm prepared for whatever happens. I've already got it through my head that I'm going to be a part of this situation if you go there. And I'm going to just be a part of the situation, and whatever happens, happens after that. So to clarify the Eight of Swords, you have the Ace of Swords, Four of Pentacles, Ten of Swords. Then you have the King of Wands. And then you have the Three of Swords. Because to get further into it, it gets like that sometimes too. Like, people don't understand, like, these S-tests. These S-tests are real bad. but I'm going to get into it in another video. You have the Ace of Swords and you have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, the Ace of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. The Ace of Swords is about how the Ace of Swords, to clarify the Eight of Swords, is about how it is that you, Cancer crabs, know what it is that you're looking at. If a person is wasting your time and trying to S-test you and get on your nerves, you know what it looks like. Leave them alone. The Four of Pentacles represents how it is that you, ultimately, you're in a situation where, sorry about that. Ultimately, the Four of Pentacles, you've got a lot of stuff going well for yourself, Cancer crabs. Don't you ever forget it. You're in a very good position in life. That's why it is that I say, with the S-testing, you know, if somebody S-tests you, Cancer crabs, don't even, I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. Don't even waste your time. Don't even waste your time. If they don't have enough sense to not do that, that means that that's not the type of person that you, Cancer crabs, would probably want to hang out with. Because those people are, I'm going to keep it a buck, those people are getting off on because they think that they can understand your value by trying to get on your nerves, by threatening you, by trying to act like they're going to impose violence and their will on you. And it's like, because sometimes those S-tests bust out. Because what it is when it comes to those S-tests are trying to pick a fight with you. I'm going to just go ahead and keep it at 100. S-tests in nature are trying to pick a fight with you. You calling a person picking up the phone and deliberately putting it down on you. Putting the phone down on you. Right? You asking a person if they want to hang out with you. The person is cussing you out. The person is talking crazy to you. The person is talking about how they're going to do something to you. That's a threat. All of this unnecessary stuff out of nowhere, trying to pick a fight. And this is why when people get their butt whipped now because of it, right? Now it's like, what did I do? Because those S-tests, like I said before, getting people caught up, because that's what an S-test is. You're trying to pick a fight with somebody. That's why I'm not an advocate for S-testing anybody, no exception. Because you, Cancer crabs, need to understand that at the end of the day, whatever value a person has, regardless of whether if they're dysfunctional, whether they're a hyena or whether they are a lion, whether they are truly valuable or whether they are a person who's trying to front like they're valuable, that type of stuff is going to come to the surface. They're going to come up. So the Ten of Swords and the King of Swords represents all you need to do is just take your time and just be patient. You're going to see, listen to me. Think about it, Cancer crabs, and I'm going to get up on out of here, right? Has there ever been a time where a person, ask yourself this, has there ever been a time where a person was trying to run game on you that eventually you didn't find out about and it didn't come to the light? If that, I'm sure 100% of you said no. These are absolutes. I'm sure 100% of you said basically, let me go ahead and just clarify it. I'm sure 100% of you said all you needed to do was wait. Because that's all it is that you need to do. If a person is fronting like they're decent, but they really are not decent, you're going to see it in the things that they do, their cruelty. You're going to start to see how sadistic they are in time. You're going to start to see how inequitable they are. You're going to start to see how it is, how they like to say one thing and they like to do another. You know what I'm saying? All you need is time. You don't need to pick fights. You know? So the Three of Swords represents here, I ain't even gonna lie to you, Cancers, right? Like, this is, because what I'm trying to get you, Cancers, to understand is that now y'all are in a stage in y'all life where you, Cancer crabs, need to understand This is a stage of ethics now. We're talking about integrity. We're talking about decency. We're talking about value at the highest order, where there are no more levels anymore. And what I mean by that for you Cancer crabs, I'm talking about it from a perspective of like, one of the things that you Cancer crabs need to understand, right? Because the last card was the Three of Swords when we're clarifying the Eight of Swords. One thing that you Cancer crabs have to understand is that, like, and I've been saying it for about a year now. I've been saying it since 2023. But yeah, I guess you could say 2023. But when you Cancer crabs are really striving to be upstanding, right? Doing more, chasing excellence. The reason why it is that you got the Three of Swords, right, is that you're going to meet some people. Remember who you heard from first. You Cancer crabs are going to meet some people that's going to absolutely break your heart. Because, let me explain why. Because those people are going to be very beautiful, very handsome. They're going to be people that you are attracted to, but you can't hang out with them. And the reason why you can't hang out with them is because it will lower your value if you hang out with them. So it's like a catch-22, where it's like you wish that these people had value so that you can actually hang out with them because you like them. But it gets to a point where it's like, which one do you want more?